Great Deliverance from Evil, Soul Polishing Academy. 2026, Princerogernelson, Veneration Codes and Spiritual and Weather Warfare. Truth about truth, saving existence and cultivating your spirit, ending degeneracy, deviancy, dereliction, dissonance, depravity, and demonology. Venerate all ancestors who suffered before us and those who suffer with us. Salute to all hardworking constitutional, military, sheriffs, first responders, trying to restore the Constitution and restore the nation to save the nation. Immediately, completely, and permanently destroy all active schemes to harm Americans and destroy America. Justice for crimes against humanity and all of those who have suffered unjustly. Okay, you see here, declassified CIA MK Ultra document openly discusses substances placed in food, water, Coca-Cola, alcohol, cigarettes, even vaxxers to slowly induce anxiety, hopelessness, tension, and depression over time. This has been launched, in 1953, and then it's been altered multiple times and renamed multiple different things over time, but yet has not been stopped. Me and the others have been, for decades trying to stop the demonic creatures from destroying all of existence in its variety of ways in which they do it, coarse and subtle ways. Okay, so you have a brain surgeon here saying that they're spraying the sky with aluminum, and it is going straight into your brain. This goes right along with the research I did in Chicago, Arizona, outside of the country, several other places, in regards to the soft metals, hard metals, and the aerosol spraying and the different variations and how it accumulates in the brain. Okay, why invade a country? We can just buy its institutions, you read the rest, but that is such a true me. I always put that up there. Understand, these people have met for a very long time to keep you from learning the truth about your soul and what these people have been doing this entire time, blocking the rotation and blocking the souls from transcendence. That is the greatest crime against humanity possible, no matter what race you are. We want freedom from that cyclic existence and them blocking, information and them lying about the truth about existence. How can you get rid of anatomy and biology? And you know what I mean? Come on, man, it's cognitive dissonance. Enough of that. Enough cognitive dissonance. Straight up. For those of you who have made it this far and know how many decades and years that I have been coming with the truth and fighting physically and, a variation of other type of ways. So many have been lost to get you the truth and to save you and try to preserve you, your loved ones, your children, your family members, so you can stop the evil beings or creatures. They're not human. What human would put chemicals and negative things in the sky, okay, in the air, in the food, in the water, in the entertainment? And we told you all for decades, and as well as the elders, about the difference between contrails and chemtrails and the different variations of sequences of cloud seeding in which they put the soft metals, strontium, barium, aluminum, and variation layered aerosolized into the sky. And they wonder why my ancestors did not want to teach them the science of metals and alchemy and all of that, because of what the caveman Neanderthal does, and they become terrorists when you try to teach them anything, which is another point I wanted to bring up. We're not going to teach them the sacred sciences and even, write them down. They're not to be taught to this generation of people, and once again, their cartouches will be left in stone, their codes this go round. They've coded us with their racism, hatred, evil, ignorance, and have not yet learned to do right and tell the truth and end all the wicked ways of which they're destroying the humanity. They're only sowing their own continued curses in the energetic realm of the space-time continuum. They talk about afterlives, heavens, hells, and the different names for it, but not realizing that they are trapped in a cyclic existence because they cannot transcend energetic-wise, because they always lie, always hide the truth, always hate the truth. Okay? So you're talking about all this money that is spent. They talk about global warming. They talk about the chemtrails. They talk about this. What about all the billions of fraud that from the people selling, the panels, bro, the solar panels? If I was a person of color and I got billions and billions and trillions of dollars selling solar panels while they're dimming out the sky, which is fraud, bro, they would have all types of acts and RICO this and racketeering and that, bro. If a person is selling billions and billions of dollars selling solar panels when they're steadily blocking out the sky, which causes it takes longer for that to increase. So you're not saving anything. It's reverse. It's counterproductive. And the batteries and the stress and electricity to use all that stuff. Come on, bro. Number two, the reaction of people and the devastation society-wise of these people dumping chemicals. Bill Gates, a terrorist, his family terrorists. They can openly admit to terrorism. You see what I'm saying? And they not held accountable. That's white folks not holding each other accountable. It's in the food, it's in the air, it's in the water. What human want to eat and cheer on? Yay, genetically modified organisms in the food. Organisms. Yay. And y'all cheering on. What kind of person want metals and chemicals in the sky? You breathe it in and then have different neurological diseases and behavioral problems due to them puppeting and experimenting on the population without their consent. And they not telling y'all, and then they play stupid. Oh, the people that say that, that's, that is, don't you? That's conspiracy, and that's, that's paranoia, and that's this. While they're doing it, while it's there, go Freedom of Information Act. And those of us who've been doing all this hard work, man, hey, like I said, the other ones who have ignored it and been a part of it, they've accumulated and continue to accumulate some very, very, very bad energy and karma, and that type is very hard to get out because, like I said, you're dealing with people's souls, and a lot of these people have been false prophets and came with propaganda, and people's souls been on the line. That's why I told y'all the why I said a long time ago, all the different talents and stuff I had, and then opportunities, certain things, I set it down. Because I knew this was the big show. I knew how they were trying to lead the masses straight to their destruction. Entertaining y'all for so long, but to lead y'all to y'all destruction. You see what I'm saying? My thing was to preserve you and give you more options and let you know what time it is. The other ones chose to accept the wages of iniquity to lead you astray and lie to you. You see the Propaganda Act right up there? So the government and whoever else that run and puppet them can legally lie to you. So everything that they present to you is all rigged. It's all rigged. Why they can't tell you the truth? They spend all that money lying to you, but then they could just tell you the truth. You ain't got to bust a grape. You feel me? If you scared, if you goofy, you ain't got to bust a grape. Just tell the truth. You see what I mean? They can't do that. And people's souls and other people's souls are attacked no matter what race. Glyphosate is in how much of the food? I see Lepido and whatchamacallit in Florida blowing the whistle too on the bread, the volume of bread in all the grocery stores, and the glyphosate in the wheat and genetically modified products. That has to be introduced to the public on purpose. That creates these different bad bacterias, and the glyphosate causes leaky gut and many other type of illnesses. Okay, it's catastrophic to the system. That's why you see them cereal aisles looking crazy and them Oreo aisles looking crazy. That's all bioengineered robot food organisms. If you already had a recipe that was organic, had a simple amount of ingredients in it, it takes more money as a company to introduce manufacturing more ingredients. It costs them more money. Let you know that's on purpose. Okay, it's on purpose.
The State of the Black Union, Dick Gregory really moved me and a lot of my friends. I show it to everybody that comes over the house, especially white folks, because they need to hear that, so that they know more about all of us. Because what he said affects all of us. He said something that really hit home about this phenomena of chemtrails. And, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time. And I thought, oh, that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing, and you didn't know why. Okay? And you really didn't know why. I mean, everybody was fighting. So he started riffing about the chemtrails. And he started to say things that hit home so hard. And I would recommend that everybody try to get what he said online or wherever and try to get a copy of it and just listen to it. Because I was so moved that I had to write the song. The other thing is the first line of the song says I was born on the same plantation the United States of the red, white, and blue. And we live in a place now that feels just about like a plantation. We're all indentured servants. You know, when I found out there were 8 presidents before George Washington, I wanted to smack somebody. You know, I wanted to know why I was taught otherwise. Just tell me the whole story. I'll fill in the blanks, but don't tell me something that you think I'm supposed to know.
We're indentured servants and we got a black president now?
Well, I don't vote. I have nothing to do with it. I got no dog in that race.
And for those who would cuss me out and slap me in person if I didn't ask you why.
Well, the reason why is because I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and we've never voted. And that's not to say that I don't think President Obama is a very smart individual, and he seems like he means well. Prophecy is what we all have to go by now. It's very interesting. I did a sold-out concert in London. We played 21 nights in a row, and all the concerts were sold out. When I would watch television over there, and you'd see the United Nations feed, the direct feed from the United Nations, you'd hear them talk a lot about religion. You'd hear the Bible mentioned constantly. This is not what we're used to in the United States. It's almost as though there's no need for God and no need for religion and justice in politics. So there's supposed to be a separation of church and state over here. We can't have a separation of state and morality, though. And, you know, songs like Dreamer and Even Feel Good, it's the same thing.
I say who take much love to Prince Roger Nelson and family, always, eternal, forever, not a stranger at all to the Most High and the ancestors. Freedom of Information Act. The substances that are prone to illogical thinking and impulsiveness to the point where the recipient would be discredited in public, increase the efficiency of mentation and perception, materials which will prevent or counteract the intoxicating effect of alcohol, promote the intoxicating effect of alcohol, materials which produce the signs and symptoms of recognized disease in reversible ways so that they may be used for malingering, materials for the induction of hypnosis, you know what I mean, brainwashing, materials in physical methods which will produce amnesia, foreign events proceeding in their use, physical methods producing shock and confusion over extended periods of time capable of surreptitious use, substances which produce physical disablement such as paralysis of legs, acute anemia, substances which produce pure euphoria with no subsequent letdown. Notice you had that show that came out with the double transformer Zendaya and all them other people. But you see how they explicitly calls for drugs deliverable in the drinks, beer, liquor, food, cigarettes, and aerosol methods. While the vaccines aren't named outright, the emphasis on surreptitious, undetectable administration opens the door to any vector, including medical ones. So these people in Variation have been over the decades and years for a very long time trying to perfect the different variations of methods of controlling the population covertly and overtly without your consent. So this is a person who has been fighting to give you your mind back, fighting to give your family members their mind back, and even the creatures that have been trying to destroy the minds and the souls of the people and existence itself. Like I said, normal human beings with a soul and a spirit that could be cultivated, they wouldn't behave like that. They wouldn't accept the wages of iniquity to be a part of that. And they, like I said, they'll be fighting at this time and going against and calling out everything that has been destroying the masses and those who have been supporting it.
This phenomena of chemtrails. And, you know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time and say, oh, that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And the next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing and you didn't know why. Okay? And you really didn't know why. I mean, everybody was fighting. So he started riffing about the chemtrails.